All right, we're going to take a look at the exponent property rules. I'm not too worried about you knowing the name of the various rules, but just kind of knowing what each rule does. So, just to make this a little bit, okay. So, if you have a negative exponent, the negative exponent states that we have a fraction. So it just means that this first one, oops, sorry, what happened there? What was that? First one is equal to 1 over 3 squared, and we want to continue to simplify that and make it 1 over 9. Answer now. Now, the exponent only goes with whatever it's next to, the variable or number that it's next to. It does not affect anything else unless you have parentheses around it. So this negative 5 here, x to the negative 5th, is not 3 to the negative 5th also. It's just the x to the negative 5th. So this is going to leave 3 in the numerator, and we're going to make a fraction out of that. So that's going to be x to the 5th. So dividing is the same thing as having a fraction. Now, this means that we actually have a fraction in the denominator. So we actually have 5 divided by 1 over x to the 10th. Well, we're going to simplify this. A fraction in the denominator, you invert and multiply, so we end up with 5 times 10, x to the 10th power technically that's over 1, but that 1 doesn't do anything. So this is equal to 5x to the 10th. Don't have to go through all those steps. If you know that it's negative, it moves up top, becomes positive. I'm fine with that. This is just the explanation of why that works. Product of powers. So if we have product of powers, we're going to add these two together. So we're multiplying the powers, but we're going to add the exponents. So this is going to be 3 to the 12th power, because 2 plus 10 is 12. Also works with variables, a to the 7th power. Okay, power of powers. So this is like a distribution problem. So we're going to distribute the exponents. So this is going to be equal to 4 to the 3 times 5 power, which is just 4 to the 15th power. So the same thing happens over here. This is a to the negative 14th power. We don't want negative exponents, so we try to avoid those. So we have 1 over a to the 14th. Now this one, since we have parentheses, we're going to have to give an exponent to a and b. So right now the exponents are 1. So if we distribute the 5 on the outside of the parentheses to the exponents on the inside, we have a to the 5th and b to the 5th. Same thing happens over here. Number has an exponent of 1, as well as each variable has an exponent of 1. So this is 2 to the 3rd, a to the 3rd, b to the 3rd. Since we know 2 to the 3rd is, really quickly, we're going to make that 8a to the 3rd, b to the 3rd. Okay, quotient of powers. Well, if we are multiplying, we'll get up here, right? Product, did we add? So it kind of makes sense if we have a quotient, we're going to subtract. So we can write that 2 to the 3rd times 2 to the 4th. Well, we need to subtract the 2 in the denominator, so we're going to bring it up, minus 2. That's the same thing as having 2 in the denominator. And then if we add, we have 7 minus 2, so this is 2 to the 5th power. Now, problems can get messy, so we're just going to kind of group our stuff together. If you have to change the order, you do that so you can get the same variable next to the same variable or under it. So we have a to the 2 minus 5, minus 5 comes from the denominator, times b 3 minus 8, and then we have c, which is 10 minus 1. So if I look at this closely, I have a to the negative 3rd power, because we add these two, right? That's negative 5. So 2 plus negative 5, negative 3. And then we have b to the negative 5th power, with c to the 9th. Well, we want to rewrite it with no negative exponents, so that's going to be c to the 9th over a to the 3rd, b to the 5th. Just because it's in quotient form doesn't mean that each one gets the 3 distributed to it. So this is equal to 2 to the 3rd over 3 to the 3rd. We could do those. 2 to the 3rd is going to be equal to 8. 3 to the 3rd is going to be equal to 27. Okay. So the 5 squared is 25. A squared is a squared over, and the denominator also gets squared, 49 over b squared. Okay, now our final rule, and probably one of the ones that comes up very frequently through the rest of math, is the zero property rule. So 3 to the 0 power is 1. Anything to the 0 power is going to be equal to 1. So those are both equal to 1. Okay. We will, in the next video, look at some example problems.